Hey guys, it's Josh. Welcome back to our usual new routine of Tuesday night Bible study lessons. I'm the student pastor at Cornerstone Church here in Owensboro, Kentucky. I hope you're having a great time, and I hope you've enjoyed the messages so far. We're going to keep things rolling. Our first sermon was about being 100% Christian, and then our last week we talked about how God really wants a relationship with you, and I hope you found that interesting. I hope that each week I've tried adding different challenges to kind of help you grow in different personal things. So I hope you've been taking those seriously. I hope you're still reading in your Proverbs. I hope you're still spending some time alone every morning just in prayer and listening. Today I'm going to talk about things we do after we've started doing those. And I hope you keep those going, and I hope you enjoy. So, it's amazing to me. There was a study done a while back, and they took these. My wife and I watched it. They took these 8 or 9 individuals and they had them learn how to spin a bowl on a stick. And the first time around, just depending on a luck of the draw, this professional juggler would either give them words of encouragement or would be completely negative. And the whole point of the experiment wasn't to make them a better bowl spinner. It was to see the effect that words have on people. It was amazing because the people who were actually pretty bad bowl spinners would sometimes get the luck of the draw of, hey, these are encouraging. And when they came back a few hours later, the people who had the words of encouragement were actually better bowl spinners than the people who were given the derogatory remarks. And it was amazing because you watch this experiment happen and you can see these people who thought they were doing really good. And then all of a sudden, this professional was like, hey, that was terrible. You should probably stop. And they came back a few hours later and they couldn't do it. And the whole test of the experiment was to find out that words matter. And they did this experiment, but the Bible already told us that words matter. Today I'm going to be reading from the book of James. Again, I'm reading from the NIV, the New International Version. Again, you can read whichever version you would like. That's the one I do most of my speaking out of when I'm researching and things like that. I'll pull from different versions, but mainly when I'm speaking, I try to stick with just one. So here we are, James chapter 3, starting in verse 3. We're going to go all the way from 3 to 5, okay? When we put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us, we can turn the whole animal. Or take ships as an example. Although they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants it to go. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boast. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by just a small spark. Words matter. Our tongues are very small muscles in the human body, but they're a very powerful muscle in the human body. And what James is getting at here is your words can either lift up or tear down. He's comparing it, and he draws some very strong comparisons. Our tongue is like the rudder of a ship, or it's like the bits in the mouths of a horse. Our human body can be steered by our tongues. And it's a very powerful analogy and a powerful statement that James is making. Our words have an impact, okay? Our words can build up friendships. Our words can build up relationships. Or our words can tear down friendships and tear down relationships. When we aren't careful, the things we say can ruin other people's lives. They can tear up a person. Just like the experiment with the cups and bowls, the words of encouragement helped, and the words that were derogatory really hindered people, okay? James continues, if you keep on reading in James, and go to verses 10 through 12, out of the same mouth comes praise and cursing. My brothers and sisters, this should not be. Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same spring? My brothers and sisters, can a fig tree bear olives or a grapevine bear figs? Neither can a salt spring produce fresh water. He's letting you know that once you start being negative, it's hard to do both praise and cursing all from one tongue, all from one mouth. And he's being very specific here. The words that you say, no matter who you're talking to or anything, they matter, and people remember those. And it's hard to be cursing one minute and then be praising God the very next minute. It goes back to being 100% Christian. It can't be one or the other. Your words need to be encouraging. Your words need to be lifting other people up. They need to be praising. So what James is getting at here is, even when you're talking and you're talking to a small group of people, be careful what you say, because your words can affect other people. In Proverbs chapter 4, verse 24, keep your mouth free of perversity, keep corrupt talk far from your lips. In the Proverbs, Solomon's telling us we need to be careful with what we're saying. We need to, one, speak truth, but speak it rightfully and carefully, and we need to use those precisely, and we need to make sure that we don't tear others down. He goes on in Proverbs chapter 12, and if you've been reading your Proverbs, hopefully you've come across these. In Proverbs chapter 12, verse 15, the way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice. Your words when you're speaking to someone should be encouraging, okay? Advising, giving someone advice. So when myself or another pastor friend or a manager or someone at a job or a teacher or, a person in higher authority is talking to you, they're not talking to you to tear you down or belittle you. They're talking to you because they want to help grow you and make you wise. When someone's correcting you and they're doing it in a loving way, they're not doing it to tear you down. They're not doing it to beat you down. They're not cramping your style. They're trying to make you better. They're trying to build you up to do better in life. And that's what Solomon's talking about here in the Proverbs. A wise person listens to advice. Use your tongue wisely. So the life application is this. 1, be slow to speak. Don't just spew out whatever comes to your mouth. 2, make sure you're being encouraging whenever you're talking, because the words you say matter. And number 3, this is a hard one. Be careful what you're actually listening to, because we read later on that what comes in is what comes out. So be careful. Make sure the music you're listening to is encouraging and uplifting. Make sure the movies you're watching are encouraging. Make sure the people and the friends you're hanging out with, and that's a hard one, but make sure that they're encouraging and lifting you up. I hope this helps. I want you to keep going. Keep reading your proverb every day. Keep spending time in the Word. And this week, I want you to try to go through and on your car ride somewhere, sitting at home listening to music, sometime, I want you to just sit and listen to what the words and what the songs are telling you. Watch the movies and the shows. What are they telling you? I want you to find some positive, uplifting songs. Again, if you have any questions, you have any prayer requests, please message me here on the Cornerstone Youth page. I'll be more than happy to respond and join with you in prayer. Again, I hope you're having a good time. I know quarantine's been tough. We're getting out of it from what I've heard. So please like, share, comment on this video, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday.